Jai Narayan students, hope you all are fine. So, we were studying chapter number 2 from our supplementary reader Vistas, and the name of the chapter is The Tiger King, which is written by Kalki. So, till now we studied about Maharaja of Pratibandhpuram, and a strange happening took place. The strange happening was that a 10-day-old prince spoke and addressed the astrologer, told the prophets that all those who are born will one day have to die, but the manner in which the prince will die should be revealed out. The astrologer then told that the death will come from the tiger because he was born in the hour of bull. So now, students, come to page number 10. Open page number 10. We'll study now. You may think that Crown Prince Jung Jung Bahadur was thrown into a quake when he heard the word tiger. Here, quake means he might be shaken. So you might be thinking that when that Crown Prince Jung Jung Bahadur, when he heard the word tiger, he would have shaken. That was exactly what did not happen. Here the writer is telling that it was exactly what did not happen. It means the Crown Prince Jung Jung Bahadur, he did not shake with fear on hearing the word tiger. As soon as he heard it pronounced, the Crown Prince gave a deep growl. Growl means utter or emit some low sound. Terrifying words emerged from his lips. So when he heard the word tiger, when the word was being pronounced, the Crown Prince, he emitted out low sound, and some terrifying words came out from his lips. And the words were, "Let tigers beware." This account is only a rumor reef in Pratibandhpuram. A reef means widespread. So this account was the widespread rumor which was there in Pratibandhpuram. But with hindsight, we may conclude it was based on some truth. Hindsight means understanding of a situation only after it had happened. So on the hindsight, we concluded that it was based on some truth. The next paragraph says, Crown Prince Jung Jung Bahadur grew taller and stronger day by day. No other miracle marked his childhood days apart from the event already described. So, Crown Prince Jung Jung Bahadur started growing up. He became stronger day by day, and no other miracle took place in his childhood except the incident which was described on page number 8 and 9. The boy drank the milk of an English cow, was brought up by an English nanny. Nanny means the tutor. Nanny means the person who takes care of. Tutored in English by an Englishman. He was given education by an Englishman. Saw nothing but English films, exactly as the crown princes of all the other Indian states did. Exactly as the other crown princes of the other Indian states did. This Jung Jung Bahadur also followed the same tradition. When he came of age at 20, the state which had been with the coat of wards until then came into his hands. Coat of wards means it is a legal body which is created to look after the minor hire. So when he attained the age of 20, till now the state which was there under a legal body now came into his hands. But everyone in the kingdom remembered the astrologer's prediction. But everyone present in the kingdom, they always remembered what the astrologer predicted. Many continued to discuss the matter. Slowly it came to the Maharaja's ear. Many of them, they continued to discuss it, and soon it came in the knowledge of Maharaja. There were innumerable forests in the Pratibandhpuram state. They had tigers in them. Now Pratibandhpuram state, it had many forests, and in those forests many tigers were there. The Maharaja knew The old saying, you may kill even a cow in self-defense. And the Maharaja only knew the old saying that if you fear a cow, then you can kill that cow in self-defense. There could certainly be no objection to killing tigers in self-defense. When one can kill cow in self-defense, then certainly there would be no objection in killing a tiger in self-defense. The Maharaja started out on a tiger hunt. Now, Maharaja started for tiger hunting. So till now, we came to know about the upbringing of the crown prince and his coronation. The crown prince brought up like all other princes in India. Given milk, he was provided with the milk of an English cow. He was brought up by an English nanny, and he got tutored in English by an Englishman only. The prince watched only the English films. He was crowned as the Maharaja at the age of 20. Now, in the second paragraph, we studied about astrologers' prediction. Everyone talks about astrologers' prediction. The Maharaja comes to know about it. So, the Maharaja decides to kill the tiger. Now, the next paragraph on page number 10. The Maharaja was thrilled beyond measure when he killed his first tiger. He sent for the state astrologer and showed him the dead beast. Dead beast means dangerous animal. So, the Maharaja was quite happy when he killed the first tiger. Out of happiness, he sent out for the state astrologer and showed him the body of the dangerous animal. What do you say now? He demanded. Now the prince said to the astrologer, what do you say now? Your Majesty may kill 99 tigers in exactly the same manner, but the astrologer drawled. Drawled means speak in a very low, lazy way. So here, once again, the astrologer told, when the king asked, showing the dead body, what do you say now of the beast? Then the astrologer told, Your Majesty, you may kill 99 tigers exactly in the same manner. But, once again, there was dot. But what? Speak without fear. Once again, the prince told, but what? Speak out, without fear, speak. But you must be very careful with the 100th tiger. The astrologer told the prince that he may kill 99 tigers in the same manner, but he needed to be very careful with the 100th tiger. Now all of you turn your page and come to page number 11. What if the 100th tiger were also killed? Then the prince asked, what? If I am going to kill the 100th tiger also, then what? Then I will tear up all my books on astrology, set fire to them, and in response to this question of the prince, the astrologer told, if the Maharaja was able to kill the 100th tiger, then the books of astrology will be torn up by the astrologer. He will tear up all the books and set fire to those books. And I shall cut off my tuft. Tuft means a bunch of hair growing at the back of the men. Crop my hair short and become an insurance agent. So, here the astrologer told, once the king was able to kill, the Maharaja was able to kill the 100th tiger, in that case, the astrologer will tear up all his books on astrology and set fire to them. And apart from setting fire and tearing up his book on astrology, he would cut his tuft also and crop his hair very short, and then he would leave astrology and become an insurance agent. The astrologer finished on an incoherent note. Incoherent means unclear. So the astrologer finished his words on a very unclear note. From that day onwards, it was celebration time for all the tigers inhabiting Pratibandhapuram. Here, the element of irony is entering. So now, from that day, it was celebration time for all the tigers who were occupying the forests of Pratibandhapuram. Here, it is ironical. I told now, it's element of irony. So, it's purely ironical because There was ban on killing the tigers except Maharaja. Nobody else could kill the tiger except the Maharaja. The state banned tiger hunting by anyone except the Maharaja. A proclamation was issued to the effect that if anyone dared to fling so much as a stone at the tiger, all his wealth and property would be confiscated. Confiscated matlab seized. So here the state banned tiger hunting by everyone except the Maharaja. A proclamation means official announcement. A proclamation, official announcement was issued that anyone dared to fling means throw or hurt, you can say so, even a stone at the tiger, then all his wealth and property will be seized. The Maharaja vowed he would attend to all other matters only after killing the 100 tiger. The Maharaja also take an oath that he would only attend to all the matters of the court, all the matters of his kingdom after killing the 100th tiger only. Initially, the king seemed well set to realize his ambition. At the very starting, it was looking as if the king was very well set to understand the ambition. Not that he faced no dangers. There were times when the bullet missed its mark. The tiger leapt upon him and he fought the beast with his bare hands. So, in the process of killing those 100 tiger, it was not always that the king did not face any danger. There were times when the bullets missed the tiger and the tiger leapt upon him. At that moment, he fought with the beast with his bare hands. Each time it was the Maharaja who won. So every time it was Maharaja who won. Now all of you flip on to page number 12. Here, till now we studied that astrologer reiterated his prediction. Astrologer tells the Maharaja that no harm will come to him till the killing of 99 tigers. Then he advises him to be very careful with the 100th tiger. Tells him that if the king succeeds in killing the 100th tiger, then he will destroy his books on astrology and cut his hair short. Now, king's mission of killing 100 tiger. Tiger killing was banned in the state of Pratibandhapuram. Only the Maharaja was permitted to kill tigers. A proclamation that the defaulter's property would be confiscated was there. Maharaja did not attend to any other matter of the state, and tiger killing is his main mission. On page number 12. At another time, he was in danger of losing his throne. Now the second incident he is telling is, first he told that sometimes the bullets missed, and then Maharaja himself faced the tigers with bare hands and every time won. The other time, he was once again in the danger of losing his throne. A high-ranking British officer visited Pratibandhapuram. He was very fond of hunting tigers. A high-ranking British officer. He visited Pratibandhapuram and the British officer was very fond of hunting tigers and fonder of being photographed with the tiger he had shot. He was very fond of hunting tiger and much more fonder of being photographed with the tiger which he had shot. As usual, he wished to hunt tigers in Pratibandhapuram, but the Maharaja was firm in his resolve. As usual, the British officer, he wanted to hunt tigers in Pratibandhapuram forest also, but the Maharaja was firm in his resolve. Firm in his resolve means he has decided firmly. So he refused permission. I can organize any other hunt. Maharaja told to the British officer that he could organize any other hunt except the tiger hunt. You may go on a boar hunt. Boar means wild pig. Maharaja told to the British officer that he may go and hunt boar in his kingdom. You may conduct a mouse hunt. We are ready for a mosquito hunt, but tiger hunt, that's impossible. He told the British officer that he may go for a boar hunt, he may go for a mouse hunt. Maharaja was even ready for mosquito hunt, but tiger hunt, that was next to impossible for him. the British officer's secretary sent words to the Maharaja through the Diwan that the Durai means British officer, himself did not have to kill the tiger. The British officer's secretary, he gave a word to the Maharaja through the Diwan that the British officer himself did not wanted to kill the tiger. The Maharaja could do the actual killing. What was important to the Durai was a photograph of himself holding the gun and standing over the tiger's carcass. Carcass means dead body. So the Maharaja, the Diwan, he gave the message that the Maharaja could kill the tiger. But the Durai only wanted a photograph of himself holding the gun and standing over the tiger's dead body. But the Maharaja would not agree even to this proposal. But Maharaja did not agree to this proposal also. If he relented, now relented means became soft. So if he became soft this time, what would he do if other British officer turned up for tiger hunt? Here he is telling if he became soft this time, then what would happen if other British officers turned up and with the same demand? Because he prevented a British officer from fulfilling his desire, the Maharaja stood in danger of losing his kingdom itself. Now, as the Maharaja prevented the British officer from fulfilling his desire, so the Maharaja was now in the danger of losing his kingdom. The Maharaja and the Diwan held deliberations. Deliberations means very long and careful discussions over this issue. Over the issue of losing his kingdom, Maharaja and the Diwan, they held long and careful discussions. As a result, a telegram was dispatched forthwith. Forthwith means immediately. So, after their conversation, after their deliberations, a telegram was dispatched to a famous British company of jewels in Calcutta. To the jewellery shop, a telegram was dispatched. Send samples of expensive diamond rings of different designs. And what did the telegram say? That the jewellery shop needed to send some sample of expensive diamond rings of different designs. Some 50 rings arrived. The Maharaja sent the whole lot to the British officer's good lady. The jewellery shop owner, he sent some 50 rings. And the Maharaja sent the whole lot to the British officer's wife. The king and the minister expected the Durai Sani to choose 1 or 2 rings and send the rest back. The king, Maharaja and the minister, they expected that the British officer's wife, she would select 1 or 2 rings and return back rest 48 or 49 rings. Within no time at all, the Durai Sani sent her reply, "Thank you very much for your gifts." But to their surprise, Durai Sani, she replied back to them and gave thanks for that gift. It means she did not return even a single ring. In 2 days, a bill for 3 lakhs of rupee came from the British jewellers. The Maharaja was happy that though he had lost 3 lakhs of rupee, he had managed to retain his kingdom. In 2 days, a bill for 3 lakh of rupees came from the jewellers. But the Maharaja was very happy that though he has lost his 3 lakhs of rupee, but somehow he has managed to retain back his kingdom. The Maharaja's tiger hunt continued to be highly successful. Within 10 days, he was able to kill, within 10 years, he was able to kill 70 tigers, and then an unforeseen hurdle brought his mission to a standstill. The Maharaja's tiger hunt continued. It was very successful. Within 10 years, he killed 70 tigers. But after that, a problem brought their mission to a stop. The tiger population became extinct in the, all of you turn to page number 13 now. Forest of Pratibandpuram. It means after killing 70 tigers, the tiger population was finished in the forest of Pratibandpuram. Who knows whether the tigers practiced birth control or committed harakiri? Harakiri is a formal way of killing oneself by cutting open its stomach. It's a ritual of suicide. So, nobody knows whether the tigers in the forest of Pratibandpuram, they were practicing some birth control methods, or all the tigers, they have committed suicide, or simply ran away from the state because they desired to be shot by British hands only, or The tigers, they ran away from the Pratibandpuram state because their desire was only to be shot by the Britishers. One day the Maharaja sent for the Diwan. Now one day Maharaja sent for the Diwan. In the last page, on page number 12, we studied that a British officer's visit was there. A British officer visits Pratibandpuram. He was very fond of hunting tigers. He was much more fond of being photographed with the tiger he had shot. He wished to hunt tigers in Pratibandpuram also. But the Maharaja refuses permission. He refuses permission because he thinks that other officers would turn up for tiger hunt later on. The king's dilemma was also to be seen. He refuses permission to British officer, afraid of losing his kingdom. He was quite afraid. Maharaja and the Diwan, they held consultations. They had deliberations. So they decided to bribe the officer by sending expensive diamond rings to the officer's wife. Maharaja sends 50 rings and expects that the officer's wife will select one or two. But the greedy lady keeps all the rings and sends thank you to the Maharaja. The Maharaja pays 3 lakh of rupee for the ring but was very happy as his kingdom was saved. The tiger hunt continues. Maharaja killed 70 tigers in his kingdom in 10 years. Tiger population became extinct in the forest of the kingdom. Now on page number 13. One day the Maharaja sent for the Diwan. Diwan Sahib, aren't you aware of the fact that 30 tigers still remain to be shot down by this gun of mine? He called the Diwan and told Diwan that Diwan Sahib, aren't you aware that still I have to kill 30 tigers to complete my mission? Still 30 tigers are left to be shot down by my gun. He asked, brandishing his gun. Brandishing matlab swaying. He asked this question, Maharaja asked this question from Diwan. While asking question, his gun was swaying in his hand. Shuddering at the sight of the gun. Shuddering means shaking. The shaking at the sight of the gun, the Diwan cried out, Your Majesty, I am not a tiger. As he was quite afraid, he was shaken. He told, Your Majesty, I am not a tiger. Maharaja told, which idiot would call you a tiger? No, I am not a gun. As the Diwan got scared, so he told, no, I am not even a gun. You are neither tiger nor gun. Then Maharaja explained that you are neither tiger nor gun. I am not going to shoot you. Diwan Sahib, I summoned you here for a different purpose. I have decided to get married. Now he disclosed his intention. He told the Diwan Sahib, I have called you here simply for a very different purpose. Now I have decided to get married. The Diwan began to babble even more. Babble means talk very rapidly. Now the Diwan was not able to understand what actually the king wanted to say. So now he started talking more rapidly. Your Majesty, I have 2 wives already. If I marry you, he told, Your Majesty, I am already having 2 wives. And if I marry you, ... Don't talk nonsense. Why should I marry you? What I want is a tiger. Then the king told, Don't talk nonsense. Why should I marry you? I want a tiger. ... Your Majesty, please think it over. Your ancestors were married to the sword. If you like, marry the gun. At this, the Diwan told the king that, Your Majesty, please think upon once again. Your ancestors, they married with the swords. If you think, you can marry the gun. A tiger king is more than enough for this state. It doesn't need a tiger queen as well. He told, a tiger king is much more enough for this king, for this state. This state doesn't need a tiger queen also. The Maharaja gave a loud crack of laughter. On these rapid answers by the Diwan, Maharaja burst out in laughter. I am not thinking of marrying either a tiger or a gun, but a girl from the ranks of human being. Now the Maharaja, after bursting out in laughter, he disclosed, neither I am going to marry a tiger nor a gun. I am going to marry a girl from the rank of human being. First, you may draw up statistics of tiger populations in the different native states. Now he told how to find a girl for him. The Diwan must first draw up the statistics of tiger population in the different states. Next, you may investigate if there is a girl I can marry in the royal family of a state with large tiger population. After finding out the statistics of tiger population, then Diwan needs to investigate if that state with the largest tiger population is having a girl to marry or not in the royal family. The Diwan followed his orders. He found the right girl from a state which possessed a large number of tigers. The Diwan, as he was being ordered, he followed the order. He found the right girl from the state that possessed the large number of tigers. Maharaja Jang Jang Bahadur killed 5 or 6 tigers each time he visited his father-in-law. In this manner, 99 tigers' skin adorned the walls of the reception hall in the Pratibandpuram palace. So, Maharaja Jang Jang Bahadur got married to a lady who was from the state which possessed a large number of tigers. So, Maharaja, whenever he visited his father-in-law's house, on every visit he would kill 5 or 6 tigers. And in this manner, 99 tigers were killed and their skins they were decorated on the walls of the reception hall in Pratibandpuram palace. So, dear students, till now we studied that Diwan obeys the order and finds the right girl for Maharaja. Maharaja marries the girl, every time kills 5 or 6 tigers each time he visits his father-in-law. In this way, he succeeds in killing 99 tigers, and 99 tigers' skin, they were decorated, adored the reception hall of the palace. So, dear students, that's it for today. I hope you are able to understand. If you don't understand, please feel free to ask. Thank you.